Question. Am I the best journalist the United Kingdom has to offer? Serious question. Because I'm about to show you some, I think, pretty compelling evidence that I am, in fact, the best journalist the United Kingdom has to offer. Don't believe me? You remember this, right?
On Saturday the 7th of April, up to 75 people, including young children, were killed in a horrific attack in Douma, with as many as 500 further casualties. All indications are that this was a chemical weapons attack. UK medical and scientific experts have analysed open source reports, images and video footage from the incident.
From the White Helmets and Bellingcat. She didn't mention them by name there because, yeah, the White Helmets and Bellingcat are seriously discredited organisations. The main guy at Bellingcat basically said, yeah, I'm so skillful at deciphering things. I got all of my training on video games. The fuck? Seriously? You're an expert on who dropped weapons in Syria? Because you played Call of Duty?
And concluded that the victims were exposed to a toxic chemical. This is corroborated by first-hand accounts from NGOs and aid workers. While the World Health Organization received reports that hundreds of patients arrived at Syrian health facilities on Saturday night with signs and symptoms consistent with exposure to toxic chemicals. And based on our assessment, we do not think that these reports could be falsified on this scale.
I think you'll find my reporting over the last 2 years has proved, oh, yes it can. Yes it can. I won't play that on. Obviously you know what happened next. And a week later after that was a trilateral bombing of Syria. That was Prime Minister Theresa May, shortly after an alleged chemical attack by Assad on his own people. Now, I have shown many times on this channel that clip. I've done it almost every single video that I have done. I have done extensive work on this. Don't believe me? Here we go. These are all the videos I've done. So if you go to my videos tab right here, and then you type in OPCW, which is, you know, OPCW or Douma, you can see all of the videos I've done: 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 31 minutes, 14 minutes, 18 minutes, 42 minutes, 14 minutes. There's one on the Skripals, 10 minutes. There's another one on the Skripals. There's another one. There's Chris Williamson confronting Theresa May. He never got an answer on that. There's another 5 minutes. I have done hours and hours and hours of work on this. Since that incident, that alleged chemical weapons attack in Douma in, was it 2018, April 2018, I've done hours of work on it. There you go. There's the evidence. You know, you can see I am pretty much as clued up on this event as anybody in the media. Hours, absolutely hours there. Not just of the research that went into it, but hours of me on camera, talking into the media, talking into the camera, presenting facts and compelling evidence that the story that Assad was responsible for a chemical attack in the city of Douma was a fabrication of events. I remember saying at the time, you know, Sun Tzu's quote, when your enemy is almost defeated, do something that's going to bring the wrath of powers much larger than you upon you. It made no sense. I presented hours of compelling evidence here on the videos. Hours. Which our old lying mockingbird media have all but ignored. There is not a single media outlet in this country, and I want to make this clear, all right? I want to make this clear. There is not a single media outlet in this country that has covered this story as well as I have. Not one of them. Just think about that. Just think about that for a second. Me, alone in my council flat, on an income of about £1,000 a month, if you average it out over the last year, can scoop the entire UK media, including supposed adversarial independent media like Novara and the Canary, although the Canary have been on holiday for a couple of weeks and they haven't covered this yet. I'm watching you, Canary. But I scooped them all on one of the biggest scandals of this century so far. Ask yourself, for that to be the case, either how great am I, or just how disgustingly terrible at their job must our supposed journalists in this country be? Well, a few days ago, a journalist that some say is one of the best in the country, well, he reported a revelation on this OPCW debacle, the lie in the OPCW, and that is Robert Fisk of The Independent. Robert Fisk, you may remember, was one of the only people to actually go to Douma and report on the events, and he was the guy who found that no, it wasn't. They weren't suffering from the after effects of a chemical attack like we were told, those people in the hospital. What it actually was a staged event. They were suffering from hypoxia. The White Helmets came in, shouted gas, started sprinkling water on kids' heads. Everybody, what the hell was going on? They got their film. Theresa May swallowed it. We bombed their country. I'm not going to read this article. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to read this article for you, because there is absolutely nothing of any magnitude in there that I haven't told you already in the videos that I have done. Okay? I'll leave a link below for you to go and read it if you want. Suffice it to say that the only thing in there that I didn't know had happened was there was a mysterious guy who phoned him once and met him once somewhere and said, yeah, the OPCW, there's suppressed reports. And that's it. Everything else in that article, I had already told you. Okay? The latest revelations in this article that Fisk is talking about, the internal emails leaked by WikiLeaks just before Christmas, I think it was, I talked to you about in this video. 27th of December. 27th of December. That's when I released the video. I actually did it earlier than this because I did it in a live stream. I think I might have done it before Christmas. 1st of January. He wrote that. So Robert Fisk, multi-award winning journalist, he reports on it on the 1st of January. I reported on it on the 27th. And the only things I didn't already know were his clandestine little tip-offs from a mysterious dude in that article, which really was of no consequence whatsoever, other than it should have given him even more ammunition to actually release that information. I reported on the stuff that he's reporting in The Independent, and he's the only one to report it in our media. I reported on it a week before he did. A whole week. While I was on my Christmas break. Think about that. I, a person who left school at 15 to work as a machinist, got fired from it, I think before I turned 16, has had 2 failed businesses in his life and a bankruptcy, who smokes about a half an ounce of weed a week, getting paid £1,000 a month and working from his council flat in the Black Country, scooped multi-award winning reporter Robert Fisk and The Independent and the entire British media on a massive story a week before anybody in the media reported on it, with all their money, their power and their contacts and their skill. I did all that while I was on fucking holiday. The rest of our media in this country haven't reported on that at all. At the same time as the United Kingdom is following the United States into yet another regime change war in the Middle East that is going to cost millions of fucking lives. And they're silent. The other revelation, by the way, Fisk made in that article was about the WikiLeaks. The previous WikiLeaks release, the previous WikiLeaks release that I talked about on the 27th of November. It took the Independent over a month to report on the stuff that I report on. Honestly, this is insane. It's no wonder at times in the last year I've honestly felt like I'm going nuts. What I have just shown you is evidence that your country and your media are lying to you yet again to get you into war. To take away all your nice things to pay for war. They could even be covering up for war crimes that have been committed. Think about that. It's the connotations of them. They might even be involved in a few of them that have happened. Those dead bodies had to come from somewhere in Douma. The worrying thing is they might even be planning more of them right now as we follow an orange narcissist into war in the Middle East, another one. So with all this in mind, I'd come back to the question. If I'm the only one in the UK reporting on these, does that mean I am the best journalist in the UK? No, obviously not. But that's the whole point of this video. And Robert Fisk, by the way, is a far better reporter than I will ever be or ever claim to be. I'm not better than him. Fair play to him for his reporting on Douma. I can only imagine the great pressures were put upon him and massive obstacles were put in front of him even before he got that information out, and I really appreciate it. He's a far better journalist than I ever could be and far more courageous. Let's face it. Do you think I want to live in the Middle East and report from a possible chemical weapons attack sites? Fuck no. I don't like the smog in London, let alone possible chlorine. Although, in this case, it looks like London would have been more toxic for you than Douma on that day. I am not the best journalist in the country. I'm not even saying I'm a good one. By any journalistic standard, I am not a good journalist or reporter, but I am something that other people in our media are not. I'm honest, which is, in my opinion, the best quality a journalist can have. And unfortunately, one that so seldom people in our country possess. And why? Why is this? Is it because honest people aren't attracted to journalism? Of course they are. I love my job. But an honest journalist would not be able to make it in our media as it stands today. And it's set up like that for a reason. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. Our news media in the UK, their careers are fully and wholly reliant on the very same people that they are supposed to hold account. The very same people who allow them to keep their status as Guardian columnist and the lifestyle and the accolades that accompany it. So while I might not be the best journalist in the United Kingdom, I am honest and I am truthful. Which is why I would never stand a chance at any mainstream or old media outlet in this country right now, even though I'm out scooping them by months in some cases. And while I don't have millions behind me or powerful people or the right contacts, what I do have is you, the public, the people who old media lies to on the daily and treats like mushrooms, keeping you in the dark and feeding you on bullshit. I have you to support me. And therefore, you're the people I'm accountable to. And that's exactly how our media in the 21st century should be. It's exactly how our news media in the 21st century needs to operate if we are to have any chance of avoiding an Orwellian nightmare of a future. Because without honest journalists, we won't have a clue what is going on in the world. If you want proof of that, most people right now don't. Because 99% of them out there do not have a clue that we might have committed the supreme war crime in Douma. Support independent media, because you're not getting the truth from anywhere else. In 2020, make your New Year's resolution to support us, to support independent media wherever you can, with whatever you can. Please do it. £1 a month is all we need from you if enough of you do it. Wherever possible, support us. If you can support us with more than £1, £2, £3, £5 if you want, £10 if you want to push the boat out, please do. Because without us, we're not going to survive. We're going to go away. And you won't have a chance in hell of making Orwell fiction again.